ICE is preparing a 24/7 social media surveillance program, and you need to know about it. Come on, let's sit down. I know I was done for tonight, but then, yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. So the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE as we know it, is definitely something I want to be talking about because we're focused on a lot of things that is currently happening, like the government shutdown. Headlines are focused on that, and the latest drama out of Washington, D.C. with this circus that everyone is currently watching. But I need you all to pay attention to something else that is far more concerning, and that is quietly slipping under the radar, and we all need to know about it. It is about your social media. Come on, sit down. You might want to go in ahead and get you something to drink. That's what I'm getting ready to do. Cheers. Let's get started. So, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is building a 24/7 team to scour TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and other social media platforms that we're all familiar with around the clock, using advanced tracking tools, commercial data, and private contractors. Now, according to federal procurement records and reports reviewed by Reuters and The Intercept, this new unit will run out of ICE's intelligence centers in Vermont and California, with teams of private analysts assigned to monitor public activity online, including videos, comments, and live streams in real time.
Well, breaking, fuck the news. Billionaire Palantir co-founder calls for a return of public hangings to show masculine leadership in America. The billionaire co-founder of the software company Palantir has called for the return of public hangings in order to demonstrate masculine leadership. If I'm in charge later, we won't just have 3 strikes law. We will quickly try to hang men after 3 violent crimes. And yes, we will do it in the public to deter others. Our society needs balance. It's time to bring back masculine leadership to protect our most vulnerable. Lonsdale, who co-founded the tech giant alongside with entrepreneurs including Peter Thiel, made the comments in response to the online criticism of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his attitude to recent military strikes against alleged drug boats. Hegseth was called out for his own online post in which he boasted openly about sinking another narco boat. Online users reacted with outrage, with Claire Lehman, editor of Australian-based libertarian website, describing the post itself as grotesque. Listen, everybody, these people, this is a billionaire's world. If you don't got money, you don't have shit. These people are openly calling for things that haven't existed since the 1600s, 1800s. 1800s is a stretch. This is insane. These are people who consider themselves some sort of royalty, and they consider us peasants.
Trump says he's going to Minnesota to round up the Somalis now, and so expands what the Brennan Center calls the deportation industrial complex. Did you ever wonder who's benefiting the most from all these ICE raids? Well, we all know that this corrupt administration is fueled by the profit motive first and foremost, and that big ugly bill that they pushed through this summer gave them the keys to the kingdom. Now, keep in mind, this is not monopoly money. These are your tax dollars being spent to kidnap, detain, and terrorize people while throwing out due process, which is a constitutional right. Be prepared to be pissed. Now, the big ugly bill allocated $170 billion of your money to be used for immigration and border enforcement. And remember, Trump filed appeal after appeal to avoid having to pay SNAP benefits this fall because we supposedly couldn't afford it. Well, $75 billion of that big ugly bill money was earmarked specifically for ICE. And in addition to paying masked thugs massive signing bonuses and annual salaries to terrorize black and brown people, there are a lot of private companies that are experiencing a windfall by signing lucrative contracts with ICE. Now, we talked about the private detention companies Core Civic and Geo Group in a previous video, but they are far from the only private companies that have decided to cast their lot with ICE. Who else is on that list? I'm glad you asked. Up first is Palantir, Peter Thiel's company. They've got $88.1 million in ICE contracts. They're a surveillance company that's helping ICE to monitor people's locations in near real time. Next is Dell Federal Systems, and yes, they are a subsidiary of that Dell. They've got $20 million in ICE contracts. Thomson Reuters Special Services, owned by Thomson Reuters, who also owns Reuters News, has $19.7 million in IT contracts with ICE. And Charter Communications, AT&T, and Comcast all have contracts with ICE to provide IT services. Deloitte Counseling, owned by Deloitte & Touche, has a $132.4 million contract to provide everything from accounting services to PR to program management and evaluation. Ernst & Young has ICE contracts worth $10.3 million. And there are tons of other companies providing ICE with everything from tasers to IT support to video recording equipment to weapons. It really does take a village. If you're as disgusted by all of this as I am, firstly, share this video to help increase awareness of how the profit motive is driving this whole farce. Then go to the link in my bio or in the comments to sign the petition to get ICE off our streets. Over 10,000 of you have signed this petition already. The more signatures we get, the more likely that decision makers are to see it. We're talking about state and local officials, federal government officials, and the CEOs of several of these corporations that are financially profiting from these illegal raids. This horror is being waged in our name and with our money. We have a responsibility to do everything we can to stop it. Go to the link in my bio or in the comments to sign the petition to get ICE off our streets. Let's keep fighting.
Shalom. Giving all praises and honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Giving double honors to the men that taught us His truth, who are worthy of double honor. Our apostles and our elders of the Church of Green Millstone, which is based out of New York, who are ruling well, not forgetting our bishops and elders that are out in Connecticut, who are worthy of double honor as well. Shalom, peace and love be unto you. Shalom, peace and love be unto all of the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. A lot of these companies, well, all of these companies will invest in the chip. All of these companies will invest in the chip. You know, all of the companies that are aforesaid mentioned are within these videos that you're going to see are going to endorse the chip. What is the chip? The chip is the implantable microchip, or whether it be the brain chip or whether it be the RFID chip, which in prophecy is the mark of the beast. All right, in which further mentioning this, I will address it as the Motb. So all of these companies will endorse or invest in the Motb. Let's look up the word invest. The word invest is defined as expend money with the expectation of achieving a profit or material result by putting it into financial plans, providing or endow someone or something with a particular quality or attribute. All right, really, you know, to put it, to put money in, to invest money in, you know, just like they're endorsing and backing Palantir, you know, or ICE rather. They're backing ICE, okay? Which you have a lot of tech companies that are providing ICE, you know, with, you know, technology, you know, providing them, you know, with different things that they need to pretty much spy and gather data on, you know, or go after what they would consider immigrants. Okay. And this whole system, you know, that's going on right now, you know, is ultimately the beginning of what we understand in the scriptures as the time of Jacob's trouble. And very soon, all right, they're going to implement what is known as the mark of the beast, all right, the Motb. So you have, all right, according to this Eve, which was bringing out information, concerning Trump, and the big, beautiful bill and how it gives ICE unprecedented funds to wrap up mass deportation campaign. So according to the information that she brung out, was just actual articles on these things. Trump got 170 billion for immigration. Now he has to enact it, which they say that 75 billion of those dollars, all right, went directly to ICE. And there's companies that's working hand in hand with ICE, such as Palantir, and other so named companies, that was named within the video. You can go back and look at the video, so everyone has a hand, all right, in this particular, system, all right, or this operation rather. All right, so they're all benefiting. All right, there's a Latin word. The word is que bono, or qui bono. And what does qui bono mean in Latin? Qui bono or que bono es una forma, all right, incorrecta de la frase latina, all right, qui bono, all right, que or qui significa, and it's coming up in Spanish, but basically it mentions or who benefits. Let's go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. A principle that probable responsibility for an act or event lies with one having something to gain. So who's benefiting? Now the whole situation of ICE, going through these various different cities and gathering up Judah, gathering up Benjamin, gathering up Levi, and also gathering up the 10 tribes. All right. There's a scripture for that, and that's the book of Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, and the 6th verse. It says, "Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased." And that leopard, is symbolic, or prophetic for these different agencies. All right, the police, all right, the DEI, or whatever it's called. The FBI, the CIA. All right, and now you can add ICE in there. All right, you can add ICE in there. All right, which is another agency. And they don't show any mercy at all. And the time is going to come when they're going to use pretty much lethal force. I seen a video where Mississippi legislators are basically trying to give ICE permission, or rather bounty hunters, the permission to round up illegal aliens and do whatever the hell that they want to with them. If they're in their possession, they can unalive them without any penalty. If they're found on any of their properties, they could do whatever they want while that person is in their possession. So one of the main individuals, that's backing or helping out ICE, all right, is the co-founder of Palantir. And give me just a sec. Because I want to bring something up on that person, which you have Peter Thiel, right? And Peter Thiel, and I get this from the Independent, which I'll put all of the articles that I quoted in the description box. All right, Peter Thiel, billionaire Palantir co-founder, calls for return of public hangings to show masculine leadership in America. All right, and this is from December 8th, 2025. You know, so if they would go as far as to say this or do this, then it's not far-fetched, is it, that they will perform public beheadings, all right, which they have the equipment for it. All right, America has tons of guillotines that they can use for this purpose. All right, and who are they going to come after? Well, they're going to come after the ones that they consider treasonous. All right, the guilty of the crime of treason. All right, which is similar to what the apostles, all right, went through when they didn't support Rome and they supported, all right, Yahushua, all right, in the kingdom of the Israelites by way of Yahushua over that of Rome. So they were guilty of treason against Rome. That's the reason why they brought Yahushua forth and they tried to get the Romans to kill him, basically saying that, look, this man said that Caesar isn't his king. So the time is coming when they're gonna, us as believers, we're gonna have to suffer, all right, for righteousness' sake. The book of Revelation 20 and verse 4, and I saw the throne and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls, all right, of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, all right, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark in their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua, Mashiach, 1,000 years. So they're going to do public beheadings as well. All right, and the reason behind them wanting to do this is that if somebody is guilty of committing a crime, with 3 strikes, that basically if they did this public hanging, then that would deter other people from wanting to commit crimes too. But the thing about systems like this, it can be abused. And if you take someone's life away innocently, all right, and it comes out later that they wasn't guilty, then basically you can't give them their life back. But they don't care about that anyway. All right. So if they'll do public hangings, which they're calling for this, then they would do public beheadings. And the time is going to come when they're going to behead people publicly for not receiving the mark of the beast. All right, which is the Motb, which is the ultimate form of showing your allegiance to this beast system. All right, to this great whore that rules over the nations. So going from here, there's a final thing. And basically, in this video, there's a woman that's speaking about how Palantir is working with these different social media websites, and basically they're going to set up it to be monitored 24/7. Which they also want you to use your ID and address, all right, in order to set up social media accounts in the future. And if so, you won't be able to, get on there. So basically, if you're in there looking at something that's controversial, you know, or you post something that's controversial, look, they on your head immediately. So I want to go from here to the book of Psalms, the 56th chapter, verse 1 through 11. And I'm going to read in the NLT, you know, because the stage is set, you know, for, you know, us to suffer, you know, but although we're going to suffer, you know, and people are going to come after us, you know, we're not afraid of what mortal man can do unto us because we trust in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, all right, who is able to save us and deliver us, all right, from the hand of the wicked. So Psalms 56 and 1, for the choir director, a psalm of David regarding the time the Philistine seized him in Gath, to be sung to the tune, Dove on Distant Oaks. Okay, power, you know, okay, the Most High, have mercy on me. Salakia, O power, have mercy on me, for people are hounding me. My foes attack me all day long. I am constantly hounded by those who slander me, and many are boldly attacking me. But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. I praise the Most High for what he has promised. I trust the Most High. So why should I be afraid? What can mere mortals do to me? They are always twisting what I say. They spend all, their days plotting to harm me. So this is what these individuals are doing. All right, and all of the plans that they come up with, they're not telling this to the public. You know, like when they have their summits or their meetings, there's certain things that they disclose into the public, but behind the closed doors, all right, that's where the real talks happen. They come together to spy on me, watching my every step, eager to kill me. So see, let's say, for instance, this is your third time, you know, saying something about the American government, you know, and that's considered treason. So now, for a person like that, do you behead them? You know, do you hang them? All right. Remember what it states within the book of Revelation. All right. The what is that? The 13th chapter. All right. It says that that there's a new beast that came up that had horns like a lamb, but it spake as a dragon. All right. They're beginning to speak as that dragon. So reading on, they come together to spy on me, watching my every step, eager to kill me. Don't let them get away with their wickedness. In your anger, O power, bring them down. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. My enemies will retreat when I call to you for help. I know power is on my side. I praise the Most High for what he has promised. Yes, I praise Yahweh for what he has promised. I trust in the Most High. So why should I be afraid? What can mere mortals do to me? So that's the question. All right, you can bring your Motb system. You can bring your public hangings. You can bring your public beheadings. All right, you can watch over us like a leopard watches over a city. All right, but you're still not going to get the victory. All right, America is going down, and the elect will be delivered and protected. All right, by way of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So, with that, all of these countries, companies, are going to endorse the CHIP. And as you can see, there's a system that's being established. All right, and this is known as the Motb system. You know, another thing I didn't mention in this video, you know, which I'll do something else.